Today we are going to discuss about combined heat and power in distributed generation. So what is this combined heat and power? So direct combustion of organic matter which is used to produce steam or electricity. So it is also known as cogeneration. So it uses recovered exhaust heat, right, of any production unit for another process requirement. So from this it results in the improvement in the energy utilization of the units. So by doing so, the overall thermal efficiency of generation that will be raised from 50% to 90%. So the combined heat and power, it does not have a renewable source of energy. If you want to go for renewable source of energy, then you should use biomass as a source for combined heat and power. So when you operate the CHP in a controlled condition, it will be the most efficient plant, right, as compared with different CHP processes. So large CHP installation, which is used for the production of steam, which will be used in industrial installations, then for space heatings in agriculture and for direct heating also. So agriculture CHP, it is very common in Netherlands and Denmark. So here 25% of electricity they are using by this CHP only. So nowadays we are having micro CHP also, that is small installation to produce both electricity and heat for local space heating. So micro CHP, so some possible applications of these are hotels, shopping centers and offices. So from micro CHP, the electricity we are getting is 1 kilowatt of electricity and 7.5 to 12 kilowatt of heat. But for larger CHP, we will get 105 kilowatt of electricity and 172 kilowatt of heat. Small units may be emerging and intended for heating of domestic premises. So these are some of the following examples of heat and electricity production. So thermal power station, you can see here it needs 63.6 units of primary energy to produce 35 units of electricity, whereas a high efficiency boiler, condensing boiler, it needs 55.6 units of primary energy to produce 50 units of heat. But a CHP installation, it needs 100 units of primary energy to produce 35 units of electricity and 50 units of heat. That means by comparing these three, you can say 19.2 unit of primary energy can be saved by using combined heat and power, that is 20% of saving. So CHP is a good idea when electricity uses the same primary energy as heat production. So these are some of the properties. So the production capacity of CHP unit, it depends directly on the heat demand. Okay, the higher the heat demand, higher the production capacity. So the heat is produced as a byproduct of electricity production. So heat demand sets the minimum limits to the electricity production. So when the electricity production is higher than the need, at that time the excess heat that will be cooled away and reduce the efficiency of the installation. In the same way, when the electricity production is less than needed, heat has to be produced in another way. So this is technically possible, but most installation has a fixed ratio, that is between electricity and heat production, where the local heat demand determines the production. So with industrial installation, the heat demand is very constant and predictable. When CHP is used for room heating, either industrial or in offices or in domestic purposes, the heat demands depends on several weather parameters, the difference between indoor and outdoor temperature, the wind speed and the irradiance, right? So each of these parameters is very difficult to predict, right? So the amount of production cannot be accurately predicted here. And combined heat and power, it will be located only where there is a heat demand, as heat cannot be transported over large distances, so it should be located very close to the heat demand place, right? So CHP is always located close to electricity consumption, so this is obviously an advantages of CHP for the power system.